So we have two more readings. The next one, Tom Hendrickson is going to come back and read a piece that Mike Faloon sent in. Mike Faloon wanted to be here today. He's the editor of Go Metric.
Well, he's not, so you're stuck with me again. The piece I'm about to read, or if you will, that I am reading, contains the thoughts of Mike Faloon. He publishes a magazine called Go Metric. It features music, humor, comics, and stories. The most recent issue contains a portion of Richard Leck's memoir. He and Mike met last fall at the release party for said issue. And by the way, I say that is the issue available in the back. Avail yourselves. And we'll go to the first person. Go Metric. A good-looking issue. Available in the back. Thank you. I was sitting in the back of a bar in the East Village, waiting for friends and contributors to arrive. I was early, halfway through a pint, when I saw an older gentleman approach. He brought both hands to his face as he coughed, turning this way and that, looking for a familiar face. In his sweater pocket, I saw a copy of the zine. It was an incongruous sight. I took a chance and introduced myself to Richard Leck. Within a minute, we were seated across from each other, and he began talking. Monologuing is more accurate. Like he'd been touring with the material for 6 months. He eased into an explanation of the memoir project he was working on with Karen Lillis, the sociology behind the history, the overlooked aspects of daily life in New Jersey from 1933 to 74, the Depression through World War II into the Nixon years. He coughed and said he was sorry for not being louder, but the apology wasn't necessary. When the story's good, you find a way to hear it, right? It was last summer when Karen contacted me about running some of Richard's New Jersey stories. Now, I was in the middle of reading Billy Phelan's Last Game, the second book in William Kennedy's Albany trilogy. The jazz age from upstate, just off center, not Chicago or New York, but the periphery. Richard's stories had a similar feel. I loved them from the first read. I asked Richard how he and Karen met. St. Mark's bookstore. I'd walk past her and tell a joke, usually a joke from the 20s, a joke my mother had told me, like a skeleton walks into a bar and says, "Give me a beer and a mop." My mind split, half processing the joke, half ballparking how many times he told the joke over the years. He talked about his poetry in New Jersey and told corny jokes I'd be repeating the rest of the night. I waited for friends to show up, wanting to have a bigger audience for Richard's performance, for more people to experience him firsthand. He coughed again and said he was feeling tired. I suspect the place was too loud, but he didn't want to complain. A few minutes later, he got up to leave, saying he'd come back if he caught his second wind. He said he'd send me some of his poetry, and he wanted me to know that he passed out his contributor copies of Go Metric to his fellow residents at the Senior Center. Only the likes of Richard Leck gets punk zines onto the nightstands of the AARP crowd. I only hope they enjoyed his work one half as much as I did.